I've been diving deeper into more on the creative side of things. So I'm sure most of us, or if you follow me, you would have probably heard about manifestation and how you can create your own life, etc. It's all about mindset and positive thinking and all that stuff. So yes, going on from that, I just wanted to kind of add on to that because I'm kind of learning about all this manifestation, creating your own life, creating a life that feels fulfilling and aligned. And of course, because I know about human design, I am now living a much more fulfilling and a life with more flow and ease because I no longer have that struggle of being in my non-self, which is when you're kind of out of alignment, and I'm more living in my true self, or in other words, my authentic self. Because when you live as your true self or your authentic self, that is when you can create the life that you want. You can attract the abundance that you want. You can just live in more flow and ease and less stress because you are being your true authentic self. It's when you're in your non-self, which comes from like conditioning, from beliefs, your family, ancestral trauma that you might have, in your DNA that you might have been born with, just conditioning from everyday life as well. All that kind of brings us out of alignment. But when you understand where your struggles are, that what you might believe might not be true, it's just people have made you think that, especially if you have very open energy centers like I do. Once you get yourself back in alignment, everything just flows. It just flows. Trust me, I was so out of alignment. I was always in a constant fear and stress, especially when I became a mum. I could never feel I could be my true authentic self. I thought I had to be a certain way for people to accept me, right? Wrong. To be your true authentic self is the ability to just be who you are. So if you're the crazy, loud, or whatever person, don't worry about it. That's just who you are. Nobody has the right to suppress who you are. And if you're the very quiet, subdued, in the background kind of person, that's fine too, because that's just who you are. So why manifestation and being a true self, how they come together. When you want to create a life of flow and ease that feels fulfilling and happy, and the main thing to remember, if there's anything you've got to remember from this, is doing things that make you feel good. Emotionally, it feels good and it's not hurting anybody else. That's when you know you're doing the right thing. That's when you know you're doing something fulfilling. That's when you know you're doing something for your soul. And when you do the right things for yourself, it flows outwards. People will feel it from you, they'll sense it from you, and you're just a much happier person. What do they say? Happy wife, happy life, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like when you're happy, your kids sense that their mum is happy, the husband senses their wife's happy. Everything just flows so much better. There's less struggle, stress, restriction, fighting, whatever it is. So back to what I was going to talk about. Because my core wound is stress, which has come from ancestral lineage. So it's in my family. So I obviously was born with that. So that was part of my life for a while. But I now can manage stress better. And whenever I get a stressful situation, for me, it's just a challenge that I have to learn a lesson from. And I move on from that. And I've learned something from it. That's how I use my struggles in a good way. And I've passed this on to my family as well because they can feel it from me and sense it from me. Okay, so back to what I was trying to say. Whenever you are in a stressful place in your body, it's a low vibration frequency. So when you're in a low vibration frequency, it's hard for you to attract the right opportunities or the abundance that you want in your life when you have a low vibrancy frequency. When you're in a happy place, when you're being yourself, when you're authentically happy and fulfilled, that's when you will attract the right things in your life. And that's where you can create an abundance that feels fulfilling and happy and right for you. Again, any opportunity that comes to you when it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Whatever comes to you, if it feels good, like, I don't know, for a job interview, if the job interview didn't feel right, that means it wasn't for you. You have to listen to your gut feel. And for those who are emotional, so there's different ways. This is another aspect of human design, which later on I'll talk about, but where the way we make decisions is based on our inner authority. So for me, I'm splenic authority, so I have the ability to know if something is good for me or not for me, or bad for me, straight away. I just know. It's like a knowing. It's like I have like a, sounds a bit woo, but it's like a I feel it in my body. It's like a resonance in my body. If you're emotional, on the other hand, which is probably 50% of the population are emotional authorities, you need to ride an emotional wave. So you need to go through the ups and downs of crying and, thinking about whether this situation is something that you should take on, this opportunity, this job, this move, whatever it is. It might take you 2 to 3 days. But once you get that emotional clarity, that's when you know you can make the decision. But for me, I'm splenic. If you're like me, awesome. You can just ask the question, is this job good for me? I just sit still, and if I feel a resonance in my body, I know it's a good thing. If I don't, for me, it's like a no-no. So that's how I use my splenic authority. But what this video is all about is basically, if you want to create the things that you want to attract in your life, so in other words, resistance won't allow you to create. So when I say create, it could be anything. Find that house that you're looking for, that job that you want, the husband that you want, whatever it is. Creating something can mean anything, just bringing something that you want in your life. When you're in a stressful state, it won't happen. You're just going to bring in the same vibe, low vibe frequency, energies, opportunities, the struggles, the challenges. It's just going to keep on coming as a cycle, ongoing cycle. Lift up your vibration. The way to do that is to start being a true, authentic self. Just be you. Don't worry about other people. Just do things that make you feel happy. Because when you do that, you lift up your vibration. And when you lift up your vibration, you attract the things that you want in your life. And when you do that, everything flows so much better. Trust me. It has worked for me. It's still working for me. And I'm so happy and fulfilled where I am. I might not be like a millionaire. Doesn't matter. I'm just happy in myself. And I know that what my purpose is, which is to help women find clarity and direction in their life. And I found it. And that's what I'm doing now. And you can also find yours too. I have a workbook coming out very soon. It's like a roadmap to self-discovery and your future direction. And keep your eyes out for that because it's super interesting. It's a great way to, if you're not very familiar with human design, you will get like a basics, like a Human Design 101. And it will like be a workbook of how to read your chart. And it will give you insight into your future direction, how to look at your own chart, to look into your own future direction. So it's super cool. I've enjoyed making it. And again, if you're somebody, and this is another thing about creativity, it's all about work as well. So if you're doing something and it doesn't feel right, you're at work or something, you're doing a work and it doesn't feel right, then you're struggling. you're resisting. When you resist, you can't create from resistance. You need to create from flow. The only way is to lift a vibration, which is just to be your true authentic self. That's a secret. It's hard to do that if, when it comes to mindset and stuff, it's hard to do that when you are in a bad place. And I get that. And they say positive thinking and mindset is very hard. How can you make something up that doesn't feel right? So you've got to truly dig into your struggles first, where you don't feel worthy, where you might be struggling with yourself. Once you build that self-trust within yourself, then you'll be able to build up that believability that you are worthy. And then when you are worthy, you feel like you can be your true authentic self. And when you're your true authentic self, that's when everything flows. That's it. That's the magic. That's the formula. So it starts with you though, not with external factors. Nothing external will help you feel good. You have to find it in yourself first. That's the secret. You can't expect your husband, your mum, your dad, your brother and sister to make it happen for you, to make it better for you. It starts with you first. That's the trick. That's the secret. So, dig into finding your true authentic self first. Once you understand yourself better, then you can look into your future direction and see where you're heading. That's what's helped me, and that's where I am today. So keep your eyes peeled for the roadmap. I'm really excited to share this with you, and it's going to come out really soon.